Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the interbubs. This is ReNDoG coming at you in another episode of Minecraft Survival from the Hermitcraft server. You know guys, every now and then in this glorious game known as Minecraft, I get my mind freaking blown out the water, especially on this Hermitcraft server. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing right now? This looks like a freaking biome made out of obsidian. Well, there's only one maniac on this server who would be crazy enough to try and make a biome out of obsidian, and that is the mental grinder known as Cubfan135. Look at what he has been up to. This is insane. We got a couple volcanoes up at the top here, and every single one of these blocks, it looks like, is obsidian. I thought that he might have mixed some coal in here or something to help him with the grind, but it looks like Cubfan has literally transformed this entire section of the Blue Residential District into an obsidian biome. Cubfan, you are a freaking mentalist, man. I'm also seeing a lot of magma cubes over here. Looks like somebody might have stopped into the ReNDoG cube shop and spent a bunch of cash. Looks like we've made some bling blings, guys. This is awesome. But take a look at this, man. I was flying around the server trying to find locations for Hermitron booster packs because we're about time to start putting them down around the server for the Hermits to discover. And I flew over this bad boy and it is freaking amazing. How long must it have taken Cubfan to literally mine out every single one of these blocks of obsidian? Like manually hacking up each and every freaking block. Cubfan, you are a mental person, man. What is wrong with you? But I gotta say, this place looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at this, man. Look at all these little caves and stuff. This would be such a perfect little location for a Hermitron booster, right? Like right inside of this cave thingy. That would be amazing. And I think what's happened here is this freaking laser beam has probably started to corrupt this part of the Hermitcraft server, right? Which is why it's all turned into obsidian, man. This is so awesome, Cub. Anyway, if you're not watching Cubfan series, I suggest, in fact, I highly recommend you go check him out. I'll stick a link in the description box below. Man, absolutely crazy. He does the most crazy things in Minecraft of most people that I've ever watched play this game. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival. I know that I've been away a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a few days since I've been able to record. On Saturday after my stream, I got a really bad pain in my back like this. It felt like somebody had shot me in my butt, basically. And I had to go to the doctor the next day because I couldn't sleep at all that night. And yeah, diagnosed with something called sciatica. It sounds pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Basically what it is, it's a hemorrhaging of the cartilage in between your lower spinal discs or something like that. I'm not a doctor. I don't know really what happened. Anyway, basically what it comes down to is I've been sitting in this PC chair in front of my computer for too many hours in the day. Sometimes I've been sitting in this chair for up to 15 to 18 hours and it's kind of taken its toll on my back. So the doctor made me take a break from sitting in front of my computer. It sucked. I gotta tell you guys, I've been hating it. But anyway, my back's feeling a little bit better now so we can get back to some recording. And we got lots of stuff to do today, guys. I'm super excited, man. I have now completed all of the Hermitron tribes. Had to name over 250 items manually. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit of a moment. But in the previous episode, we were working on this Scallium pool with this guy, weren't we? And I don't think I really explained what this is all about. Basically, I've been trying to figure out a lore to justify the existence of the Hermitrons. Where did they come from? Where have Hermitrons been born? Well, Iskal helped me out a lot with the Hermitron game, of course. He's helped to create a booster packing machine for me, which is sweet. And he also helped me to conceptualize a lot of the mechanics of the game. So I thought a really awesome thing to do would be to bring in a little bit of Scallium magic into the Hermitron project. And this is a pool of obsidian. I mean, obsidian? My freaking Cubfan, man. You've infected my brain with your obsidianification. Anyway, this is a pool of Scallium, and this is where Hermitrons are born. Essentially, this is like the primordial soup of the Hermitrons, and when anything lands in this soup, for example, this torch eye, bloop, a Hermitron sort of mutates and comes out of that pool. So that's kind of the lore of the Hermitron game, which I think is really cool, and I think it turned out really nicely too. So thanks, Escal, for all of the help, man. Absolutely awesome. But check this out, guys. Oh man, I'm so pumped. We are so very close to launching our first freaking booster box of Hermitrons on the server. And here you can see a whole bunch of beautifully colored freaking shulker boxes. In these boxes, hello slime, freaking interrupting slime. Jeez, get out of here. Please, I'm trying to talk. Anyway, in these beautifully colored shulker boxes over here, guys, are all of the Hermitrons for the Alpha Edition. Oh, baby, you know it. You can see them all in their glory, all sorted perfectly into their Hermitron boxes. Later in this episode, I'm going to show you guys all of these Hermitrons, all of their names and their rarities and all of that jazz. And that is super exciting because that means we've only got one more step to do before we can launch the game. And that is plug in all of those Hermitrons into Iskel's booster box packing machine back in my base. So that is fantastic. Now, there's still one more very important thing that you and I need to do together, and that is, of course, finishing off these ruins. We were working on these ruins a couple of episodes ago, and I wanted to bring you guys in for some detail work so that we could work together on finishing this build. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, man. We're going to crank on with this bad boy, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to finish this off, and then we are going to look at some Hermitrons. Oh, baby, it's going to be a beautiful day of Minecraft. Back. Please don't get sore again. I'm begging you, man. So it's probably been less than 48 hours since the ReNDoG placed a block in Minecraft. And I gotta be honest, Cyberdogs, I've missed it, man. I have missed this game so much. It's only been 2 days, but I couldn't wait this morning to wake up, feel that my back was a little bit better, and yes, it is a little bit better, thank you for asking, and that made me super happy because that means that today I can play some Minecraft with you guys, and I'm so excited about it, man. For the last couple of days, I've been pondering a question that I'd like to pose to you guys out there today. Why? The question is why? Why, after all of these years of placing blocks, thousands of hours dropped into this game called Minecraft, hundreds of builds completed, hundreds of thousands of blocks placed, why do I still feel like a little kid on Christmas when I get to play this game? It's kind of weird, don't you think? I think about all of the other games that I've loved in my life over the last few years, and most of them I've kind of gotten bored of and I don't play anymore, but this game still gets my juices flowing every single time I load up one of the worlds that I play on. I cannot wait to get some of these blocks placed. You know, this sound? Boop. Bloop. I love it. I just absolutely love that sound of blocks being placed and blocks being breaked. It takes me to my happy place, I think, is one of the reasons why I love it so much. But I think the answer for me to why I love Minecraft so much goes all the way back to when I was at university. And when I was at university, I kind of had one of those epiphanies in my life, right? And I wanted to learn to paint. I wanted to learn to draw. It was something that I always wanted to do, but I was always very, very bad at. I was absolutely awful at painting and drawing. At school, I took up art, but I got moved out of art and made to do biology because I wasn't very good at it. And my art teacher, thought that my skills should be honed somewhere else, should we say. And ever since I left high school, I really wanted to learn to paint, and I really wanted to learn to become an artist and to do some drawing and painting. So at university, I signed up for an art course to try and teach myself to paint and teach myself to draw. And, well, I took that course for about a year, and I have to be honest, things didn't really turn out that well. I never really managed to learn to paint or to draw correctly. And it kind of made me quite sad when I was a bit younger. At one point, I just kind of gave up. And I thought to myself, well, some people can paint, some people can draw. You are not one of those people. So get over it, move on with your life, do something else. And, you can enjoy other people's art. And that'll be enough for me. Well, when I discovered Minecraft, I think all of that kind of changed. It took a couple of years of playing the game before I realized this, but the real turning point for me was when I joined the KingdomCraft server and I started to really focus in on trying to make really beautiful builds in this game. And I can still remember a lesson that I had at my art class at university that sort of came to light for me over the last couple of years playing Minecraft, and it's a lesson I'd like to teach you today, because I think it's actually a really, really apt one. Here we are, by the way, working on the ruins a little bit. I've been trying to make this place look like, I don't know, kind of like a broken down barn or something. I'm not entirely sure what this building is. It's probably the place where the monk lived, right? The monk that used to look after this ruin probably lived in this little house, and this was his place where he kept his food or something, or his water, and he had a little watchtower over there, and then this was the church area, I guess, where he prayed to whatever this ruin was representing, some sort of alien being or something. I don't know. We can work out the lore a little bit later. Anyway, I've been trying to work on his little house here, trying to make it look a little bit broken down. Of course, the thinking is that this ruin has been here for a very, very long time, and it was destroyed by a flood that washed through this canyon over here. Now, speaking about all of this, like lore stuff, right? Talking about floods washing through here, trying to use our imagination a little bit. This is the lesson that I got taught when I was in that art class. We were doing some lessons on abstract art. So art that isn't realistic looking, right? You know, like art that is like a splodge on a canvas, for example, or, you know, a shape of a human being that's just sort of messed up and all squiggly and whatnot. That is sort of abstract art, right? And I remember this lesson very, very clearly because I never really understood abstract art. I didn't think it was very good, to be honest. I thought that it was just kind of like random, that artists were just sort of splashing down paint onto a canvas and then expecting it to look good, and or expecting the viewer to think, wow, that's so awesome, you know? But what my art teacher explained to me was a very, very simple concept that I've slowly but surely started to incorporate into my building here in Minecraft. And I suppose that's why I love this game so much. This game is basically my chance to be an artist. It's my chance to do some painting. Not with your traditional pens and inks and that sort of thing, but more along the lines of trying to make, taking materials or resources and turning them into something that other human beings can enjoy. Because that's essentially what art is, right? And this game is my canvas. These blocks are my paintbrushes. These things are my paints. They're my pencils. And that's probably why I love this game so much. Now, what my teacher taught me really did stick with me for a very, very long time. And it became very clear to me a couple of years ago when I started playing on the Kingdom Craft server. And what my teacher taught me was that art is all about perspective. It's all about the human understanding of what a human being is looking at, right? So us as humans, we can look at something, and in our brains, we can use our imagination to bring an abstract shape or an abstract drawing into fruition, right? So what I mean by that is, if we're looking at this, what we are looking at is just a whole bunch of cubes placed on top of each other, right? That's what this is. But our human brains and our imaginations are able to turn this into something else. We're able to see that there's a building over there. We're able to see that there's some sort of a ruined tower over here. We're able to see that there's a river running through this. And that's because our brain is able to relate to what we have seen in reality, to what we can relate to in our own existence. Now, therein lies the magic. Therein lies the very, very simple concept that my teacher taught me. If you can provoke a feeling in the person that's looking at what you're doing, if you can provoke a sense of familiarity in your art to the viewer, then you can create successful abstract art. So even if you do a little squiggle somewhere, right? If to the viewer it looks like something that they can relate to, then you've done good. So for example, if I was to make something like this, right? Let's just do like a little something like this. I don't know. Let's just place some blocks randomly like this. And this is kind of dark, I suppose, but let's just do like that, right? Now, let's jump up to this position and have a look down at what I've just placed down there. There we go. What do you guys see when you look at those blocks? Well, I see a man who's lying on his back, probably dead, with one leg sticking out and one leg underneath him. And that, of course, is because my human brain is able to see that shape in that design. Now, that is the very, very simple concept that I wanted to share with you guys today that I learned in that art lesson many years ago. And it's a concept that I've been applying to Minecraft quite a lot. So let's apply it to what we're working on over here. I'm working on this little house. And what I want you guys to see when you look at this is a ruined, broken down house. The way that I'm achieving this is I'm creating the shape of the roof up there. You can see that I've got the arch of the roof over there. And then I'm bringing down the walls on this side, right? So if we come over here and actually bring this down a little bit more, and I want to try and get the shape of the roof a little bit more succinct on that side. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And what we can also do over here is probably take that block away. No, hang on. We'll keep that one there, but we'll take these ones down just to allow that sort of V shape to look a little bit more V-like, I suppose. There we go. So what we can see here is a roof that has caved in. Over the years, over the thousands of years that this ruin has been here, the roof has caved in, but the structure of the roof, the foundations of the roof have remained in place. Now, when we look at this with our human eyeballs, right, we can picture this as a house because, well, we've seen ruins like this before. We've seen ruins like this in movies, and even if we haven't seen ruins like this in movies, our imagination, that glorious thing that has evolved inside of our wonderful brains, is able to conjure that image for us in our minds. And I think that that is probably why we love this game so much. It's probably also why we love watching other people play this game so much, right? And why Minecraft has endured for so long on YouTube. Because together, you and I, we are basically painting together, right? And I think that's absolutely awesome. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. Our skeleton! When I used to live in London, I used to love going to Oxford Street and just watching the caricaturists just paint tourists and draw caricatures of tourists that were traveling in that area. I used to just go stand there and watch an artist paint. I loved it. Absolutely loved it, man. And that's basically what you guys are doing right now. You are sitting here watching a painter paint something, right? And I think that's pretty freaking cool, man. Anyway, that's what Minecraft means to me. I think that's why I love this game so much after all of these years. It's the final... it's given me the final ability to be able to do something that I always wanted to do, which was to paint. And I guess that's what I'm doing right now. Curiosity and the lust for bling blings has got the best of me, Cyberdogs. I need to check whether or not Cubfan has spent a bunch of diamonds in our Magma Cube shop. Let's check it out. Is the ReNDoG a rich Cyberdog right now? Oh, baby, look at this. If the top chest has no diamonds in it, that means we are in the freaking money right now. Oh, Cubfan, have you blown all of your diamonds in the Magma Cube shop? Oh, I think you have. This is awesome, guys. This is absolutely insane. How many diamonds did we get from the Cubfan Arena? Oh my goodness, look at that beautifully stacked freaking... What the jazz? that diamond's named differently. That's kind of weird. Wow, a stack and a half almost worth of diamonds in the Magma Cube shop. Well, don't mind if I do. I thank you for your business, Cubfan. You made me one rich freaking Cyberdog, baby. I love it. And speaking of profits, the Garden Center Emporium has been bringing in the bling blings too. Take a look at this. The Hermits have been too lazy to dig up their own dirt and sand and gravel. And ReNDoG is profiting on that laziness. Thanks, Hermits, for the 29 diamonds. I'll freaking take it, man. Oh, man, the inspiration is kicking in something fierce, Cyberdogs. Oh, baby. Let's talk a little bit more about this artistic mechanic of creating perception, shall we? I thought we could lay down some blocks together, and hopefully this can help to explain more what I'm talking about. So, let's have a look at what I've been working on over here, right? I've added a few more blocks into our ruin. The first one that you can see are these andesite blocks, these polished andesite blocks. And what this has done is it has created, well, I guess a support pillar for the building that we're working on over there. We built that building completely out of smooth stone as the foundation, and now we're going to add some blocks into it to try and frame it a little bit. These andesite blocks have definitely helped to frame it, right? It's helped to show us that the building has a sort of right angle over here, and it helps to show us that this is where a new building begins next to this one. Just using those different textures has helped to sort of create this building in our mind. It's helped to make it a little bit more clear, I guess. And we can do other things to enhance that perception too. For example, we can use some of these chiseled stone blocks to show the mind that this over here is a window, right? So let's do the same thing over here. Let's add a couple of these chiseled blocks like this above the windows. So let's say that this is the style that the windows were created when this building was made, right? Had some sort of a chiseled block above it just to make it look a little bit cooler. So let's add some of that in there too. So that's looking pretty good. Now when we come in here as a human, we can see, okay, these are windows. Now we can make this a little bit more interesting, right? This is a super ancient building, which means that these chiseled stones have probably eroded over the years. So let's switch out one or two of them with a little bit of andesite and cracked stone bricks to sort of represent that there has been some sort of a decay over here over the years, right? We could probably switch this one out with just a cracked stone brick like that. And that immediately makes our mind think, okay, something's going on over here. This place is super old. This place is an ancient ruin. It wasn't blown up recently by a creeper, for example. Instead, it's been here for a long ass time and it has been eroding over centuries. And using these kind of techniques, we can evoke imagination. We can evoke our minds to see a build in a much, better way. And for me, it's these kind of builds that get me excited. You know, it's very easy just to throw up a house like this, which I've done over here, just using a couple of blocks. Nothing special about this house, right? You look at that, you think, yeah, that's pretty cool. But it's these sort of artistic builds that really, really get me excited. Now, let's get back to the path over here. I've laid down a whole bunch of coarse dirt to try and represent the path of this area. And of course, this is coarse dirt because, well, this is where human beings are walking. People are coming into the Hermitron halls here, trampling the grass and creating these sort of dirt tracks like this. And we probably want this to run even deeper into the Hermitron hall entrance over here. So let's add a little bit of sort of green into this with our mossy cobblestone. You know, obviously there's a bunch of dirt here. There's a whole bunch of organic material in this dirt, and this is sort of flushed over into this ancient stone over here. And probably over time, this particular section of the path has been eroded to such a point where it can just be dirt now, right? Because people have been walking here for so long. Their boots have been covered in dirt, and they've been covering those stone bricks with dirt before they go into the Hermitron halls. Now, that's the kind of thinking I want you guys to apply when you are doing your own builds, okay? I know it sounds a little bit weird and abstract, but to me, it is the best way to build in Minecraft. And the reason for that is because when you see this, you're not maybe consciously thinking, oh, well, people have been walking here and trampling dirt, and that's why there's a whole bunch of coarse dirt and no grass, and that's why there's dirt here because so many hermits are coming here to go into the Hermitron halls. You don't consciously think that. You just get it in your mind. It just works that way in your brain because of your perception, right? And I think that that is why when we see builds in Minecraft that really amaze us, say for example, a Good Times with Scar terraforming build, the reason that it looks so amazing is because our brain is able to perceive exactly what Scar was trying to achieve artistically, right? And that's why, you know, we can analyze this and look at this and be like, wow, well, look at this. What Scar has done is he's added multiple layers of terrain. So we have stone underneath dirt, then we have a whole layer of green, and then we have the trees. And that has really helped to create this sort of layered structure to this, and that's why it looks awesome. But that's not what you think when you look at it straight away. When we look at this, we just go, wow, that looks awesome. And I think the reason for that is because of this artistic perception that I've been talking about. Now, I want to apply the same sort of thing over here with some gravel, okay, and some andesite. I probably put in way too much gravel over here for my liking, but that's okay. Let's just add a little bit more. Now, the thinking over here is that we've got hard stone. We've got the smooth stone over here, right? And I'm probably going to replace most of the smooth stone with probably some bricks and some cobblestone, I suppose. But here, in this position, people have been walking over that smooth stone for centuries, right? Probably in this position too, over here. So before this was ever the Hermitcraft server, we had a tribe of people living here worshipping some sort of a deity or a ruin that was created in this position. And the monk or the monks who lived in this area were coming into town to do their shopping. And that means they were walking along this path quite a lot. And over that extended period of time, of course, their trampling would have mixed and would have corroded these stone bricks and would have mixed those stone bricks with, say, the sand over here. And that is why we've got a little bit of gravel on the side of these sort of hardened stone areas of the path, right? Now, there is another very interesting artistic technique that I'd like to share with you guys today, a technique that I have been trying to master for the last year or so here on the Hermitcraft server. Remember, guys, what we are trying to do over here from an artistic perspective is to create a perspective in the mind of the viewer. We're trying to bring to life a concept, an idea in the imagination of the viewer. And of course, to do that, we need to convince the viewer that what they're looking at makes sense to them, that it's something that they can relate to. Now, a very easy way to do this in Minecraft, to create this sense of relation, is to think about the environment. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if we have a look at where we are right now, let's get a little bit of airtime, shall we? Let's get up into the air with some fire rocket action. Come on, firework. Let's go, baby. There we go. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, so if we take a look at the environment in which we are in right now, we're currently in a valley. Okay, there is a river running through this valley like this. And as we can see, this ruin is right next to this river. At some point, there was a massive flood that washed through this valley and deposited a bunch of silt here in the Lush Mesa. And that is, of course, why the Lush Mesa exists, is because we are using that perspective to generate, I guess, a realistic perception of why this place looks the way that it does. Now, we can take that idea right into our build over here. Okay, so let's think about this. If there has been a river, or if there was a river rushing through here, and let's assume that the tide of this river does go up and down every now and then, it would be logical to assume that at some point a bunch of sand and dirt and silt and mud has been washed up against the wall of this particular ruin. So why don't we add a little bit of a stack of sand over here to the wall of our ruin? The sand is, of course, plays a big part in the Lush Mesa biome. It's one of the accent blocks that I use throughout the Lush Mesa. You should be able to see patches of it over here. And of course, this sand represents, I guess, the silt that's dried out, that's been washed down the river. And here we can create like a little pile of it, right? That's sort of backed up against the side of the tower over here. And you can already see that that really does look pretty cool. I love that. Immediately my mind is able to relate to what I've created over here. It's able to perceive what the artist is trying to say, right? That this sand is sort of washed up against this building. Now, what we can also assume that with the sand has come nutrients. With the sand has come seedlings. Has come a whole bunch of stuff. So why don't we add a little bit of a green color to it also. Let's add a little bit of leaf action here to represent that, well, things have been growing in this pile of sand. And we could probably add a little bit there too to cover up that block. And there we go. That's looking beautiful, isn't it? It kind of adds age to the building too, because it would have taken a long time for this much sand to build up against the wall of the building. And I think that looks really cool. Now, there's a hole in the wall here, which means that some of the sand might have slipped through into the ruin itself, right? And let's add a couple of splashes of sand around the place too, like this. And maybe we can add a couple into the floor of it too, just around here. So let's get a little bit of sand action. I don't know, maybe just a couple of blocks like this, just to represent that maybe the sand has sort of replaced those blocks like that. There we go, looking beautiful. Now, if we go into our ruin, we can continue on this sand build. And yes, we've got some sand down here. Excellent. We probably want to add a little bit more down here too, just to sort of enhance that look. So the sand is sort of flushed into the building itself. And because the water would have come through here, you know, through this hole, it's probably pushed some of that sand up against this wall over here, right? That's what I would think. And probably a little bit over here too. So let's get a bit of sand like that and put it into the corners. And of course, let's continue with our little growth theme, that in this sand might be seedlings and whatnot. So let's get a little bit of green into the build. The green, of course, enhancing the look of the build, but also helping to bring it all together a little bit. Look at that. Doesn't that look freaking beautiful? Just that little touch of sand. Now, let's head over into our ruin over here that's getting a little bit dark, to be honest. Let's get a torch over here and let's think about this. The sand would have sort of flushed through here and probably would have deposited itself in this little chamber over here, right? So let's get a little bit of sand down here. Beautiful. We could probably add another one like that. And for now, let's just get some light. So the sand's sort of been washed into there, and it's probably been washed into this little corner over here, like this, right? Hey, Mumbo! Oh, man. This is so freaking awesome. I'm loving this little bit of art happening over here. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Anyway, let's get our little sand pile going on over there. Okay, beautiful. So the sand's sort of washed up into there. And I think what I'd like to do is sort of break through the wall over here like this, right? That could be pretty sweet. So let's break through the wall and let's continue our little sand deposit into the water like this, right? There we go. So the sand is sort of washed all the way through the building. And actually, if we're going to do that, then we probably need to move this sand away like this and probably add a little bit more sand into the floor, I suppose. So let's add it like this, and let's add a little bit more sand like this too, just to make it feel like it's sort of flushed through that hole over there. Hello, zombie! Can you not see I am busy freaking arting right now, man? Get out of my face, you little bastard! Undead infestation has been promptly dealt with, Cyberdogs, and we can get back to placing down some freaking blocks. I hate those undead buttholes. Something fierce, let me tell you. Anyway, love the way that the sand has turned out. Love how it's been, made to look like it's washing through the ruins, depositing itself in the corners, and breaking through this wall over here to flush into the ocean. Absolutely beautiful. And I think it looks really cool. And I think the white is a perfect color to splash in amongst all of this gray. It helps the build pop a little bit more, right? As well as creating a realistic perspective for the viewer. Now, let's talk about a couple other blocks that we can use to generate this perspective. Check out the stair. I love it, man. You know, one of the things about Minecraft is that it's a very flat game, isn't it? Everything is very, very flat. And we need to use the environment a little bit to try and break up that flatness. Stairs and slabs do a great job at that. Although I'm not a big fan of slabs because, if we put a slab over here, for example, you actually fall into it, and that's kind of annoying. I don't like that much, but I do like the fact that we can create a little section in this room right here, which kind of suggests to the viewer, or to the perceiver, shall we say, that this floor has sort of collapsed in on itself over all of these years. These bricks have sort of fallen into the ground, haven't they? And I think that looks really, really nice. Helps to break the flatness of the floor also. We can also use other interesting techniques. For example, if we look up at this roof, we can assume that at some point there was a long beam of wood holding up the roof, right? And that beam of wood probably fell down into the center of the house. So why don't we make, kind of like a broken beam like this, right? We'll just sort of do this, and maybe it's sort of snapped a couple of times, and the last little piece of it is over there. And let's just get our axe going over here to clean this up a little bit. There we go. We'll clean that up like that. Get that rid of like so. And yeah, there we go. We can see, or at least we can perceive as a viewer, that something has fallen down onto the floor, and that something, of course, would have been that support beam up there. And of course, the last thing that we need to do in this little room is add a little bit of green. There's a bunch of silt that has arrived in this house, which means probably quite a lot of foliage growing around here. Mosses and shroomage, fungi of all different types have probably started to sprout in and amongst all of this ruin, especially around this log area over here, right? There would have been some biological material that might have inspired the sprouting of various freaking mosses and whatnot. There we go. That is really helping to add a little bit more to the build, right? That green starts to make things pop a little bit, and we could probably add a little bit of vinage down here too, right? If you add like a nice long vine like that, maybe another one like this, sort of going over the side like that. There we go. Oops. There we go. Sort of cascading down like that. Oh man, that's looking beautiful. We could probably add that too to break up the flatness a bit. Now, there are other things that Minecraft give us, of course, to make our environment feel a little bit more realistic, or to enhance that perspective that we're trying to achieve. And those are just good old vines. They do an excellent job at adding a little bit of green, or a little bit of foliage, I suppose, into a build like this. Unfortunately, these vines are an ugly brown color because we're in a mesa, but for now, let's add a couple of vines above these windows, and those vines are going to slowly but surely grow over time, and then sort of cover up one of the spaces in the windows, which will look awesome. Probably add a vine over here too, so that when you walk into the room, there will be a vine sort of hanging down the doorway, which I think will look really sweet. But let me sleep this night away, and we can carry on with this. I'm loving this, man. Brain, stop thinking so much, will you? Jeez, everything is fine. Oh my goodness, I've just had this thought, guys, that today's episode of Minecraft Vanilla from the Hermitcraft server has been, well, more like a university lecture than an episode of Minecraft, and I know it's probably not everybody's cup of tea. I've had a really, really cool time, though, you know, because all of this stuff just sort of happens automatically in my brain most of the time. It's actually been really fun vocalizing it a little bit and getting it out onto paper, so to speak. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this episode or the way that I made this episode, let me know by smashing that like button, okay? Something fierce, man. You can let me know in the comments, too, if you like these kind of episodes, and maybe we'll do a few more of them in the future. But it's certainly different to anything that I've done before. Anyway, just adding a few slab details here and there to the build, which I think is pretty cool, adds a little bit more interesting depth, helps to break up the flatness that we were talking about a little bit earlier. And yeah, it looks pretty sweet. But there's two more concepts, guys, that I want to talk about to sort of finish off this part of the episode. And after that, we're going to head over to Hermitron Halls. I'm going to show you all of the Hermitrons that I've created. But there's two more things I want to talk about when working on a Minecraft project like this, and that is something called framing, and I want to talk a little bit about light. Now, framing is a very interesting concept to me. It's one that I have a lot of fun with, and it's very, very simple to understand. Framing is basically does what it says on the tin. If you're trying to create a perception of something, you need to make sure that that thing is framed so that when somebody looks at it, they can see it quite easily. Because in Minecraft, it's, you know, we have a lot of messy textures and a lot of colors that are the same. For example, all of this gray looks very much the same. We need to find a way to frame these structures in the mind so that it makes a little bit more sense. We can do that using very simple techniques. For example, this vinage over here, right? So we've got a little bit of vinage over there on that side. If we add another little bit of vinage, say over here, for example, if we come to this position, that vinage helps to frame this building, right? You can see that there's like a dark color over here and a dark color over here, and that helps to sort of remove this build from the build over here. We can also do this using like very stark contrasty colors. So here I'm using a little bit of birch leaf action, and I've put it at the base of this building, you know, thinking that this is sort of built up onto the building a little bit. It's kind of like a shrub or a bush or whatever. But what this little bush does is it essentially frames this building. It helps to accentuate the corner of the building over here, right? And it separates this grayness from this grayness over here. We can probably do the same thing over here, I suppose, although we probably have a bit of framing going on over here. But we could, for example, put a little bit of a vine sort of structure over here, right? Something like that, for example, just as a very rough idea. Let's just get that going down a little bit more and maybe bush it out a little bit. There we go. So that little bit of green has helped to break up all of the gray that we were looking at, and it helps to make us feel that there's a bit of depth back here, and there are two buildings next to each other. That is a very interesting technique that I want you guys to sort of think about in your builds. What can you use in Minecraft to create framing? What can you do to sort of enhance this framing? Another good example of framing would be using, for example, grass, right? So we could grow a little bit of grass here next to our path, and we could put it all the way along this area like this, right? Let's just get rid of this little bit of vine, get that over there, a bit of grass over there. We probably want to keep this open, but probably want to add a little bit more grass blocks here. And then we can get a bit of bone meal action like this, right? Now, what this grass has done is it's basically created like a natural path for the eye. So if we're coming in over here, we can see that this grass sort of leads us into the build over here, right? Does that make sense? Yep, I think it makes sense to me anyway. There we go. And of course, it makes it look a lot more beautiful, doesn't it? Now, the last thing I want to talk about very quickly, my friends, is light. Unfortunately, in Minecraft, we don't have a lot of options with light, and well, that's not exactly true. We do have a lot of options with light sources, but we don't have a lot of options with beautiful light sources, right? Our light sources are torches and sea lanterns and magma cubes and glowstone, stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't really make sense if we're looking at the build from I guess, from a realistic perspective. Now, a little technique that you can use that we've been using in the Lush Mesa is of course, hiding those light sources, and that's what I'm attempting to do over here. So we're going to stick a sea lantern down there and then cover it with a little bit of leaf action. And that is going to allow light to come through, but we're not going to see that sea lantern when we're walking through here, right? And we kind of want to do the same thing all over the build. So wherever we can, let's just add a light source over here. Of course, we don't want the hermits to be murdered by undead hordes whenever they come into Hermitron halls. So we can drop these light sources all over the place. And I guess we'll only be able to see what they look like at night. So I'm going to let the sun set and we can have a look at this. And then we're going to go have a look at some Hermitrons. One of my favorite moments in Minecraft. I love it every single time, you know, waiting for the sun to go down and for the night to kick in so that you can see what your lighting looks like. And I gotta say, man, these ruins are starting to look really, really beautiful, especially at night. Looking gorgeous, isn't it? I've added a couple of light sources all the way through, and you shouldn't really be able to see them as we walk through if I've done a very good job. And yeah, you can't really see those sea lanterns anywhere, but there's a bunch of light in here, isn't it? Looking fantastic. I'm so freaking happy with how these ruins are turning out. I think they're pretty much done. I mean, the last sort of thing that I want to do is add a few details here and there. I want to add some flowers up in here. Got myself some blue azuites and some allium, which I think is going to look absolutely gorgeous in this build. A little bit of white here and there, just to sort of break up the very stark grey colors. And I love the little blue azuites. I think they're gorgeous. We could probably just splash a couple. Not too many, you know, just a little bit of white here and there when you're looking at it so that your eye spots something interesting, right? We can see a little flower over there. Maybe we want to add another one like on the path somewhere, maybe over here at the entrance. Maybe get rid of that one, put it around the corner. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work there with the flowerification of the place. But I got to say, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I think it's looking lovely. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait to see what you guys think. Anyway, one more thing to do in today's episode, guys. Let's head down into the Hermitron halls. Wow, this place, it's such like a brutal assault on the senses coming into this purple quartz monument, I suppose, especially after working on such a realistic looking build. But anyway, guys, I wanted to show you the last thing for today, and that is all of the Hermitrons that I have created. We're about ready to start laying down Hermitron booster packs around the server, and my next thing that I need to do, of course, is to plug all of these Hermitrons into Iskel's machine to pack those booster boxes. But take a look at this. We've got 10 tribes of Hermitrons, 26 Hermitrons in each tribe, 260 Hermitrons in the Alpha Edition. Starting with Tribe 0, we have got at common, Global, Brorb, Ballistic, and at uncommon, we got Purball, Hotball, and Phosphor. Our rares are going to be Doomsphere, Gonsphere, and our mythic is going to be Aimaru, and that's for Tribe 0. Tribe number 1 is the Redstone tribe. We got Dusticles, General Altar, and Tripsy at common. We got Node, Sticky, and Rudy at uncommon. We got Nerd at rare, and we got Mr. Hops at rare, and our mythic for Tribe number 1 is going to be Solar. Remember, guys, most of these names and most of these tribes have been conceptualized by you guys out there, so thank you very much to everybody who helped me out with this. I'm so glad that we got to this point. We're basically ready to go. Tribe number 2 over here is the food tribe, I suppose. We've got Chickaroo at common, Tickles, and Shank at common. Then we got LJ, like leather jacket, you know, at uncommon. We got T-Bone at uncommon. We got Baconator at uncommon, and then at rare, we've got Bugs, Roger, and Peter. A little bit of a reference to some famous bunny rabbits over there for those ones. So that's pretty cool. The cooked meat tribe, I suppose. Here we have the Mob Drop tribe at tribe number 3. At common, we've got Marrow, Zomboy, and Death Stare. We've also got Prard, Infrared, and Wailing Fury at uncommon. Then at rare, we've got Shulker, we've got Witherling, and our mythic is called Shaka, named after Shaka Zulu's soul, of course, given to us by Cubfan. And these are all things that mobs in Minecraft drop. So that's a pretty cool tribe. Tribe number 4 is going to be our Croppage tribe. We got Weedabix at common, we got Potsy at common, and we got Carol at common too. At uncommon, we got Beatrix, you know, Beatrix. Yeah. Pretty stupid, I know. We got Canarain at uncommon too, and at rare we've got Hollow, as in Sleepy Hollow. We got Melanie, you know, Melanie, like melons, and Melanie. Yeah, it was late when I made these ones up, okay? Jeez, we got Shroomy at rare too. And then, of course, our mythic for the freaking crop tribe has got to be a poisonous potato. We got Patsy Greenskin over there at mythic. And tribe number 5 is going to be the golden tribe, which I think is pretty cool. We got Gur at common, as in golden ore. We got Goldilocks at common too. We got Nuggy also. And then at uncommon, we've got Groot, Glate, and Guest, as in golden chest, you know. And then our rares are Stem Shine, Golok, as in golden block, and we have got Tux, that notch apple for the mythic for tribe number 5. Pretty cool, right? Tribe number 6 is the flower tribe. This is for the ladies. At common, we got Popsicles, we got Dandidion, and we got Peony Tail, you know, like a ponytail, like I have. Yeah. I know, weak sauce, weak sauce. At uncommon, we've got Tollip, we've got Sparkle Blossom, and we've got Eye of the Sun. At rare, we have got Moonsprout, Dusk Lotus, and at mythic, we have got Mana Bloom for the flower tribe. Pretty cool, right? Tribe number 7 is basically the ores that we can get out of Minecraft blocks. And we're going to start over here with Flintlock in common, Santa Dust, you know, because Santa gives coal at common. We've got at common too, and that's a sort of flashback to some of my older videos back in the day. You older Cyberdogs will know what that's about. At uncommon, we've got Blue, we've got Quartz, as in quartz, but Quartz, you know. We've got Netherwisp at uncommon too. Then at rare, we've got Emerly, we've got Dancing Diana. I don't know where I came up with that one. Gotta be honest with you, way too much coffee when I came up with that one. And we've got Priscilla of the Deep at mythic. Again, don't know how those came into my mind, but there you go. At tribe number 8, we have got the Light tribe, which is pretty cool. All of these items emit light in Minecraft, and we've got Torturino at common, as well as Just Jack and Ferneye at common. Then we've got Sundrop, which is a bucket of lava, you know, because the sun is made out of lava. I know. I'm trying over here, guys. Jeez. We've also got Glowling at uncommon too. Then our rares, our final uncommon is going to be Lamparino, as in the Torturino from Modded, and Lamparino as an addition to that. I did my best, okay? At rare, we've got Kraken Eye for the Sea Lantern, which I think is pretty cool. We've got Magman at rare too. And then our mythic is Rodney Endbringer. I don't know why, because it's a rod, you know, an end rod and Endbringer. You know, I tried my best. Now, the final chest. This is tribe number 9. This is the Power 9 tribe. The most awesome tribe of them all. I absolutely love this one. Take a look at this, guys. Made up of the rarest items that you can get in Minecraft, or some of them anyway. Starting at common with the diamond horse armor that I've named after my brother Schmidty, because we had some fun last year with a horse on stream that got murdered. So we got Schmidty at common, we've got Tagnamon at common for the name tag, and we've got Dragon Box for the ender chest at common. Then at uncommon, we've got SpongeBob, which was suggested to me on stream, which I love. We've got the End Crystal also, which I haven't freaking named yet. Dang it, I thought I'd done everything. Apparently forgot that one, so I'm going to have to name that one. Let me remember that. Anyway, at uncommon, we've also got Drago Spit at uncommon for the Dragon Breath. Then our rares, of course, are going to be Elytras, Elytrabeth, and some beacons called the Bacon. And then our mythic rare for the Power 9 tribe is Daragaz the Igniter. You get a cookie if you can get that reference in the chat below, okay? Very, very awesome. I'm loving it, man. Now, I know there's a couple of things that I do need to do, though, because I have stolen a few of these Hermitrons over the last few weeks to get the game set up, and I need to take them back and give them back to the Hermits. So I think, yep, Solar and an Elytrabeth are owed to Iskall and Tango. So let me put Iskall's freaking an elytra bed back. There you go, Iskal. You can stop complaining on Skype now. And I hope that Tango didn't notice, but I did borrow his solar mythic rare. Let me place that back in the mythic rare spot for him over there. Nice. Okay, so those are the Hermitrons, guys. Pretty awesome, right? I know. I said last week we were going to start Hermitron, but this week we're going to start Hermitron, okay? All the Hermitrons are created. Now all I need to do is get Iskal's machine fired up, and then we are good to freaking go, baby! Anyway, wow, what a day of Minecraft. This has been a really fun episode for me, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And if you did enjoy it, please show me the love, man. Hit that freaking like button, okay? Also, if you'd like to show me some of your builds that you've done, if you've been inspired by today's artistic episode, tweet me, man, at ReNDoG. I'd love to see some of your builds. I get loads of inspiration from really, really good crafters out there. So send those to me. Something fierce. You hear me, you bastards? Anyway, my brain has had enough. I need to go outside, and the good news is my back is actually feeling pretty good. It's either numb or it's fixed. I'm not sure which one of those it is, but I do need to go for a walk, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Been ReNDoG, placing down some blocks in Minecraft on the Hermitcraft server. We'll smell you all in the next episode.